Is up, peoples? I'm back. I haven't uploaded in a while. Um, I've been kind of stressed out trying to come up with new video ideas, and I guess it's kind of been taking a toll on me. Also, some personal stuff that's been going on the last few weeks here and there. But I'm all good now. I'm back, and today, I have a presentation on what might actually be the best TV show of all time, or at least my personal favorite TV show of all time, and that is Daredevil, the Netflix version, not flippin' Born Again. That's a topic for another video. But yeah, I have Daredevil, the Netflix series that was released on April 10th, 2015, and concluded on October 19th, 2018. Let me just say, um, I am the biggest fan of this show. Literally the biggest. Um, okay. Yeah, actually, no. I would say I am the biggest fan of this TV show. Out of everybody I know, there's no one that loves the show more than I do. And of course, I have my reasons, which is what the entire video is going to be on. We're just going to talk about Daredevil today because I was trying to come up with a video idea and I thought about why I started this channel in the first place. And it's of course to have deeper, more insightful conversations about different topics that I'm passionate about, but it's also just talk about some some fun stuff, you know? And I'm a big superhero comic book nerd and I love my movies, I love my TV shows, and this might go down as the best adaptation of a comic book character in live action, Daredevil. It is, um, yeah. I don't want to do like I want to do like a hand gesture thing, but like to point at, yeah, I'm pointing at Daredevil, and it's peak television. Okay, all right, okay, let's get started. Um, so the first thing we're going to talk about is actually I should probably no, I'm not sure if I should put it in slideshow or not. Oh, flip my chair. Sorry about that. Um, nah, we'll do it like this. It's cool. All right, we're gonna start by talking about the performances. As you can see, there's a picture of a particular scene in a particular season, and I mean, I feel like I feel like a majority of comic book fans have seen this show. So I'm not spoiling anything when I say anything, right? Uh, I'm gonna say this: the picture that I put here under performances is from arguably the best, most well-written scene in the entire series, in my opinion. Well, actually, no, the second best written scene in the entire series, I think. Yeah, but performances. Charlie Kirk. Yo, I said Charlie. Oh my days. Okay, Charlie Cox. Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock. So obviously Charlie Cox is playing the main character, which is Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, aka the Devil of Hell's Kitchen. He goes by many names. When he's in the Daredevil costume, he's Daredevil, obviously like the red suit. But when he's in this suit that you're seeing here, like the black with the Muay Thai wraps, you can't really see the Muay Thai wraps in this picture, obviously. But his like he has like a homemade suit that's like black, all black, and then it's got like Muay Thai wraps, right? That's the Devil of Hell's Kitchen. Um, he they switch around names a lot, but I like to differentiate them like that. So I refer to the black suit Matt as Devil of Hell's Kitchen, and then I refer to the red suit, like his actual comic book suit, as like Daredevil. So that's how I like to differentiate the two. Um, yeah, Charlie Cox's performance. Sorry, I almost said the wrong second name again. Um, Charlie Cox's performance as Matt Murdock, as Daredevil, is genuinely like one of the best live action portrayals of any character ever. I mean, his performance was so good that, if I'm not mistaken, I read about it somewhere that he actually won in a like he received an award from the American School for the Blind for his performance. Like, we're talking about a guy who was able to play a blind man so well that people actually think he's blind in real life. That's the level of dedication and the amount of like effort that he put into this character. Like, I to this day I still can't believe that Charlie Cox can actually see. Like, that's crazy to me. So because like I'm watching him on Daredevil, and like every time like his eye movements, like we're talking like really minuscule details here, like just like the way his eyes move, like you can tell that he's blind. Like, he's playing a blind person really well. Like he's an actual, like, it makes you feel like he's an actual blind person, and it's crazy. So it's like, dude, this performance, incredible. Um, there's nothing much I can say. His mannerisms, his screams, like his delivery of his lines, everything. It's just chef's kiss. Beautiful. Vincent D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk. This is one of the best MCU villains of all time. Um, yeah, Kingpin is somebody who has an interesting backstory, who's very like he has a lot of trauma. He's a very broken man who wants to make the city a better place, but the way in which he goes about it and the routes that he takes to in doing so basically just cause him to get caught up in Matt's crossfire, because obviously Kingpin is breaking the law and he's committing crimes and he's killing people. And Vincent D'Onofrio is able to, I don't know what it is, dude, but this adaptation of Kingpin is probably the best. Like, there's not a lot of like Kingpin adaptations out there. There's obviously the one from the original Daredevil movie, um, which I don't feel like talking about really. Um, then there's the video game Kingpin, Insomniac, and then there's a couple of animated ones too. So it's like it's really easy to pick which one's the best adaptation of Kingpin. Like, it's Vincent D'Onofrio. Um, it's Vincent. It's Vincent easily. It's definitely 100% Vincent without a doubt. So yeah, it's definitely Vincent. Then we got Wilson Bethel as Benjamin Poindexter, another incredible villain. Um, Another fantastic portrayal of the Bullseye character. This one, like, Wilson's interpretation of Bullseye, like his version of Bullseye, I feel like had a lot more layers than like other versions of Bullseye that we've seen like in animation, or again the Daredevil movie. Unfortunately, that movie sucks. Like, seriously, dude, it's so bad. Um, but yeah, he had layers to his character. He was actually interesting. And again, we're seeing another man like he's basically deranged. He's got mental health issues. He's broken, but he's it's not like he's just doing this like evil stuff for like he's not a bad guy for the sake of being a bad guy, right? Like, that's a thing that I like about like the way that the Daredevil like villains are written. It's like there's always like a motivation behind what they do. There's always a reason. Even if the reason is small, there's always a reason why, right? So it's like this portrayal is just amazing to me. And again, it's the version of Bullseye that has like the most layers. I feel like I've read some Bullseye like material in comics in Daredevil storylines, But to me, I think the best version of Bullseye, even if we're taking comics into consideration, I think Wilson Bethel portrayed like has the best portrayal of Bullseye in any Marvel medium to ever exist. I think John Bernthal as Frank Castle, I have no words. Like most of you have probably watched, if you've watched Daredevil, you probably watched the Punisher TV show as well. Basically, like you get the vibes. Like especially his interactions with Matt. John Bernthal just he absolutely delivered on every line, every sequence. Like, he was just top tier. He was just top tier. Eldon Henson as Foggy Nelson. Yeah, Matt's best friend. Also a fairly interesting character. Um, who we we get to see his interactions with Karen, his interactions with Matt, and also just him as a character, how he progresses and how he grows, and the dynamics that he has with other characters, but also like the few conflicts that he has within himself, of course. Um, Deborah Ann Wall as Karen Page. I was I was sold on from the moment I watched the first episode. I was sold on Deborah's performance as Karen Page. I hadn't I hadn't read when I first watched the Daredevil TV show, which was probably like in 2019 or 2020. I'm pretty sure. I hadn't I hadn't tapped into Daredevil comics yet, so I was fairly unfamiliar with Karen. But I went after I started watching the show. I read some material, and and then I came back and then continued watching the show, and I was like, yeah, I'm sold. From the first episode, there was something I don't know what it is, but her performance is it's just fantastic. And I think what ultimately solidified her as one of this is controversial to say because a lot of people don't like Karen for some reason, but Karen's one of my favorite characters from the show. Not my favorite, obviously not, but because I mean you have all of these guys right here. But she could very well be in that fifth slot if I was to rank these performances from best to worst, which I guess kind of what ended up happening here. I don't know, but yeah, nah, she's easily one of my favorite characters. A lot of people don't like her. It's controversial to say, but I don't really care. I love Karen. I think she's great, and yeah, uh, that's all I can really say. I think Deborah just portrayed this character so well. And honestly, I got no complaints. I have no complaints from her. Um, I think people don't like her character because of like, how like she's always worried about Matt and like she doesn't like that he's doing this vigilante stuff. And I mean, Foggy doesn't like it either. And it's like, dude, like they both just worried. They're both just supporting characters who care a lot about Matt and are worried about him. And it's like can't really hate her. You can't really hate her for anything. You can't have like a genuine reason to hate Karen. She hasn't done anything that's like outwardly terrible to any of her friends or the people in her life. Like she's always just trying her best to get a good story, to figure out what's going on and like what the heck is going on in Hell's Kitchen, and also be a good friend to Matt and Foggy. So it's like you can't really hate her. So yeah, Deborah played the side character, girl, like female, supporting female character. Like she just played that part to perfection. Elodie Young is Electra Nachos. If they bring back Electra at any point, I only want Elodie Young. She just works as Electra so well. I look at the comic book Electra, like a picture of her, and then I look at Elodie Young as Electra, and I just think to myself, yeah, these two are the same. There's no difference between the two. If they bring back Electra at any point, I only want Elodie Young as Electra. I don't want anyone else. Um, if it takes 2, 3 years, I don't care, bro. I don't care, bro. They have to bring her back. They have to bring her back. And then Scott Glenn is Stick. Um, yeah, Stick is just. I just really like Stick, the man who trained Daredevil, and I think Scott Glenn took the comic book character of Stick and he gave a fairly fantastic portrayal. for what he was. He's not like the best of the best on screen. Like he doesn't exactly have like the most outstanding performances or whatever. But yeah, he's just another one of the highlights for me of the show. I loved his interactions with Matt. I love his interactions with Electra. Like just great. Um, yeah. So yeah, these are the eight. These are the eight that I was thinking of. There's a few others. Um, I forget his name, but the actor for Ben Urich, he played Ben Urich very well. Is like there's a few others. Also Brett Mahoney. But oh yeah, and Agent Nadeem as well. Like there's a few others, right? But these are the ones that stand out to me, and they're the ones who have appeared in the most amount of episodes of the show. Um, or at least have appeared the most in the Daredevil continuity, if you include like Defenders as well, because Foggy and Karen were in Defenders, Elektra's in Defenders, Stick was in Defenders, so you know that kind of thing. So yeah, they like, but all eight of these actors did a fantastic job playing the characters that they were meant to play. And when I think of these characters, for the most part, I instantly think of the live action portrayals that were brought to us by these actors. So, and that's all a good performance takes. If if you're able to if you picture Daredevil and you're able to picture Charlie Cox, like you're able to picture Charlie Cox, like either in the Matt Murdock suit and tie or in like the Devil House Kitchen outfit, then he probably played that character really well. It's easy. Like I don't think of like when I think of Bullseye, for example, I think of Wilson Bethel, or I think of the comic book character. I don't even remember the man's name who played Bullseye in the Daredevil movie. I don't think of him. I think of Wilson Bethel and I think of the comic book character. So it's like if you're able if you're able to picture the actor and the character that they played, if you're able to put them like together, if you're able to picture them simultaneously, then I'm pretty sure they did a good job. Whether it's for better or for worse, they did a good job. So yeah, these performances, the eight of them, they did fantastic. Next, the fight choreography and action sequences. This is probably my favorite aspect of the entire show. Yeah, the fight choreography and action sequences are second to none. The the only franchise the only franchises, actually, let me say, that can rival Daredevil's fight choreography and action sequences would be two movie franchises. John Wick, that's the one, and The Raid. If you've never seen The Raid, um, go watch it. You will understand. I think The Raid probably has the best fight choreography and action sequences in the history of cinema and television. Like it just has the best ever. Like there's nothing greater than that. John Wick and Daredevil are fairly close, but I would give a slight edge to this show just because there's just more because there's three seasons, there's four John Wick movies, and then okay, well I guess five now because of Ballerina, and then there's three seasons of Daredevil, so it's like there's a lot more screen time, I guess you could say, for Daredevil, and there's more time to showcase like fantastic action sequences. Every punch, every kick, every combo, every fight scene it's just done perfectly. Like you actually feel like Charlie Cox playing Daredevil. Like he's actually Daredevil. Like he's actually like doing his cool moves. And I'm pretty sure Charlie Cox did his own stunts in the show. So it's like this is him punching, kicking, beating up the thugs, beating up hand ninjas, all this stuff. It's just him. And another thing I like about the fight choreography is you see Matt actually getting tired. Like you can see that he's visibly like being drained as the fight progresses. If you go back and you watch season one, episode two, Cut Man, it's the name of the episode. The hallway fight scene. I'm gonna talk about that in a second. Um, as he continues fighting the bad guys, like he's getting more and more and more tired and you don't see that in a lot of like you'd be surprised how little you see that in like a lot of action sequences. A lot of action sequences just like we're going this guy, take on this guy, and the guy never get and like your favorite character just never gets tired. And it's like you're rooting for Matt because he's the main character. He's Daredevil. Like you love Daredevil. You want to root for him. You cheer for him. But he's getting tired. He's not invincible. He's not a superhuman. He gets hit. The regular thugs are still able to land hits on him. He's faster. He's agile, sure, but he can still be tagged. He can still be hit. He's not as like he's not as crazy, super ultra like fast as like his comic book counterpart, right? Like he's a human being at the end of the day. He gets tired, right? He can take a beating. That's the whole philosophy of the Murdoch boys. They know how to take a beating. They know how to take a punch. They can dish a punch and they can take a punch. So it's like Matt dishes out powerful punches and kicks, but he also takes a lot of punches and kicks too. And it's like everything just feels realistic. He gets beaten up. He doesn't win every fight, but he still charges on regardless. He still does his best, and he just doesn't give up. That's beautiful. That's one another thing I like about these action sequences. So every action sequence, it feels like if I was there, like, and I was fighting the guys that Matt was fighting, like I would end up in the same boat. I would eventually get tired. Sure, I have more skills than they do, right? But eventually I'm gonna get tired, right? And they're gonna keep chugging on. They're getting tired too, mind you, but I'm also getting tired. So it's like we're just trying to slug it out now. It's like that's beautiful. That's actually beautiful. But that's the perfect way to write and to do fight scenes. Um, so yeah, like I said, very few movies or TV shows can rival Daredevil in this category. Fight choreography and action sequences, very, very few. I mean, if there's a few that you guys know, then you can put them in the comments, but I think the only ones are The Raid and John Wick. John Wick is debatable, but I would put Daredevil above it, and The Raid I would definitively put above Daredevil. It's very close, but I would definitively put The Raid above Daredevil. That's the only franchise in the history of movies or TV that I can say that for. It's not glaze, it's just the truth. Like if you watch Daredevil, you'd understand. And then for me, the best fight sequences, I'm gonna move this up. Um, the standoff fight scenes for me are the hallway fight, stairwell fight, and the prison escape. Now, the reason I mentioned these three in order is because each one of them is a special type of fight scene. Not super special, but like the way that it's filmed. They're all done in one take. They're one take fight scenes. Yeah, there's a few cuts here, like there's a few small minor cuts here and there, but it's majority of it is just like one take. And if you want to know what my favorite one is, it's probably I go back and forth between Stairwell and Prison Escape because these fight scenes just get better and better. Like these one take fight scenes, they get bigger and better each time. Like season one was just like a hallway. Matt was in his like in his black suit, and he was just like trying to save a kid, right? Some small scale stuff, fairly small scale, right? The stairwell fight, he was battling against the Dogs of Hell, which are basically like a biker, like a illegal biker gang type of group, I guess you could say. And he was just like charging down the building, going like moving across the staircase, trying to take them down, trying to get him out, like trying to get out. And then the prison escape is literally Matt is trying to escape the prison. And this fight scene is just absolutely epic. And what I like about each of these fight scenes is that we get to see each version of Matt in these fight scenes. So season one is the Devil of Hell's Kitchen, so like the black suit Matt. Season two is like the Daredevil, so he's in the this is the image from the stairwell fight. Um, so that's we get to see the Daredevil in a one take fight, and then season three it's Matt Murdock, so he's like in the suit and tie trying to escape the prison. So it's like each season's one take fight scene had a different like he was in a different outfit basically, which I very much appreciated. Matt and Elektra fighting Nobu and his army in season two, so on the rooftop, the finale, that was so cool because that's like it's literally ripped straight out of the page. Daredevil fighting hand ninjas, Elektra fighting like alongside him, just battling hand ninjas, trying to take them down, trying to get them out of New York, and it's just like it's some cool, badass comic book type stuff, and it was just fantastic to see. The office fight, um, Bullseye trying to keep things at a range, throwing all types of different office supplies at Matt. Matt's trying to get it at close range because he knows he's the better hand-to-hand fighter, and it's so flippin' cool. And then the Punisher prison fight in season two. Punisher, like one of the bloodiest fight scenes I've ever seen. Punisher literally just plows through multiple inmates and he kills them in like flipping brutal ways, dude. Oh my days. That fight scene was brutal. It was bloody, but it was brilliant. So yeah, if you don't believe me, just search up Daredevil fights. Like if you've never watched the show, just search up Daredevil fight scenes and just like watch one of the fight scenes in the show. Even the fight scene in like the first episode, dude, where he fights one guy in the flipping rain, dude. Just watch. Just search up Daredevil fight scenes and then just like watch one of them. You'll understand what I'm talking about. It's just incredible. Um, Next up, the writing. This is fairly straightforward. Like if you've watched any scene from the show, like the way in which the dialogue is delivered and the way in which characters interact with each other, the dynamics, it's very authentic. It's very mature. Like Charlie Cox, Deborah Ann Woll, and Eldon Henson when they're all sitting at Josie's together and they're having conversations with each other. Whether it's about the state in New York City's in right now, or they're just talking about alcohol or wanting to do shots, playing pool, whatever. Every interaction feels so authentic. It feels so real. Then the interactions um with Matt and Frank Castle, for example, very mature dialogue. They're wrestling, they're battling with ideologies. Like this kind of stuff, the writing in the show is just next level, and it inspires my own writing. That's like it's just so incredible to me. Um, like there's barely any plot holes. Like every plot, every storyline is it people like to make the argument about season two kind of like the plot kind of getting muddied with the introduction of Elektra and the Hand. Like they were upset because like you're not focusing on the Punisher stuff anymore, and it's like, nah, bro, I don't see it. I think that it was fair for them to introduce the Hand stuff, the ninjas, all this. Like I think it was really good. Yeah, of course we were still dealing with the Punisher stuff, so it was kind of getting like intertwined, but I still think it worked. I don't see any problems. Maybe that's just an opinion, but yeah, I still think it works. So for me, there's no real plot holes. There's no like flaws in like logic or anything. Everything kind of makes sense. Everything builds up properly, logically speaking. And then introductions to new characters. The way Frank Castle is introduced, oh brother, oh my days, it's just beautiful, the most beautiful thing ever. Introductions to Bullseye, Agent Nadeem, all these new characters that we get that come into the show progressively. It's just that's how you should introduce characters. It should be interesting. It should be mysterious, a little bit ambiguous, but also like interesting, hard hitting. That's how they do it in the show. And then the backstories, the way that Matt Murdock's backstory was done. There was an episode dedicated to Karen's backstory. We didn't see much of Foggy's backstory. I guess it's not. We got Wilson Fisk's backstory. We got a bit of Bullseye's backstory. Like we got interesting stuff from these characters. We got to learn about what made them who they are now. So that was all done really well. The writing in the show is just incredible. It's amazing. The villains, like I said, Kingpin is literally one of the best MCU villains of all time. He's a menace. He's oh my days, bro. His mannerisms, like when he does like that twitching thing with you. If you haven't watched the show, you won't know. But like the twitching thing he does with like his hand, where it's kind of like it's kind of like twitching a bit, dude. His Vincent D'Onofrio's mannerisms, dude. Like he's so menacing and so cold. Like you feel genuine fear when you're near him, and it's dictated through his actions. Like we're talking about a guy who literally like for interrupting his date with Vanessa. Kingpin took out one of these dudes, bro. Took him out of his car. Like they literally drove to like the dock area or whatever, wherever they were, like under the bridge, and he literally threw the guy out of the car. He put him like next to like the car like door, and then proceeded to smash the dude's head in with the car door, bro. That is terrifying, dude. And the anger, like the ferocity that that Vincent D'Onofrio exudes in like his character, dude. He's menacing, bro. Like he's somebody who's not to be messed with. Like he wants to make the city a better place. Like he's trying to appear good to the people, but behind closed doors, this man is a monster, dude. Like he is terrifying, and he is the perfect like character to oppose Daredevil. Poindexter, Bullseye, emotionally unstable, incredibly violent. There's nothing much else I can say. Like seriously, if you haven't watched Daredevil or you at least haven't watched season 3, dude, you need to tap in, bro. Like I'm gonna keep saying this, like tap into Daredevil, bro. But specifically season 3, season 3 is the best season of the entire show. It's like the best season of television I've ever watched in my entire life. But dude, you gotta tap in, bro. You gotta tap in, bro. You have to tap in. Even Nobu and the Hand, bro. Like they're menaces. Like Nobu, we first were introduced to Nobu in season 1, episode 9, right? He was wearing like a red traditional ninja like outfit, right? Dude, he came in his first his first ever fight. Like we had known of Nobu from like the beginning. Like he's been around since like the beginning of the show, right? But he was mostly just like in his suit and tie, doing business with Kingpin and all of his associates as well. But then he came into costume in episode 9, and he came face to face with Matt, and the two of them duked it out. Dude, Nobu kicked Daredevil's ass. The only reason Matt won that fight is because he managed to get Nobu to catch, he managed to light Nobu up like on fire, right? There's some oil chemicals there, and dude, bro. And even while he was on fire, even while he was being burnt alive, he still tried to kick Daredevil's ass some more, bro. Like, Nobu's an absolute menace, dude. Before, pre, before end of season 2, like pre season 2 finale, right? Nobu's probably the best fighter in the entire show that we've seen. Like, that dude is he is menace, bro. Daredevil would probably like upscale after season 2 because he kind of did end up beating him like while he was enraged after Elektra died in his arms. So he kind of got like a rage amp type of thing. But like, dude, Nobu is a menace. He has hands for days. That guy has hands for days. Get it? Yeah. Anyways, um, but yeah, I think the Nobu and the hand, I think it adds a very interesting it has interesting a very important aspect to the Daredevil mythos. So it was good that we got it in the show because like as much as I enjoy like the crime drama stuff with like Kingpin and Bullseye and like the mob and all this stuff, like as much as I enjoy all of that, Daredevil, a big part of Daredevil's character is the hand and the storylines with him battling ninjas, protecting New York from the hand. That's a big part of his story. So I'm glad that they included it in this show. And it also helped in the build up to the Defenders as well. So it worked out perfectly, honestly. I don't know why people complain about this so much. They complain about the execution, but it's like, no, dude, come on, man. They did it perfectly. Also, they managed to make it tie into stuff that was happening in New York as well. So it's like, come on, man. Like they made it work. And even Vanessa, dude. Vanessa as well, bro. Kingpin's wife, she's a menace, bro. When she ordered that hit on Ray Nadeem, dude. Nah, bro. Sick. She's twisted, bro. She's very twisted. Like the more she got involved with Wilson, the more like ruthless and like villainous she became. So like, dude, even she functions well as like a villain. She's really good. The heroes, Daredevil. Daredevil is a man who is blessed and also cursed with his abilities. So basically, the uh the character of Daredevil, if you don't know his character, basically he gets into an accident while trying to save an old man's life, right? Like an old man's about to be hit by a massive truck, right? And then Matt gets him out of the way, and the truck hits Matt, right? And chemicals spill, and those chemicals get in Matt's eyes, and now they made him go blind, so he is blind. However, all of his other senses got enhanced to the point where he basically can like smell blood pressure rising. He can hear bones shift when people breathe. Like it sounds very creepy explaining it, but like his other senses were enhanced to the point where he can see without his eyes, essentially. But like he can, in him seeing without his eyes, he can see more than a person who uses their eyes to see, essentially. So that's how he fights. That's how he fights crime. That's how he does what he does. That's how he operates. Obviously, to average people, he doesn't want to like reveal that he has these superhuman senses. So he obviously acts like a regular blind person, right, with his walking stick and everything. But that's Daredevil. So he has superhuman senses essentially, and he was blessed and cursed with these abilities. And also thanks to martial arts training from Stick, he learned how to become an exceptional fighter. Matt took these and he took it, whatever he had. He's lost a lot in his life, but he's taking the tools that he does have and he's just trying to make the city a better place. He believes in upholding the law. He's a lawyer, which is pretty ironic because vigilantism is illegal and he's a lawyer. So it's like it's a thing of irony, right? His whole character is pretty much rooted in irony, essentially. The same way like the whole idea that he's like the devil of Hell's Kitchen and he's Catholic at the same time. So like he's kind of like wrestling with like opposites, like opposite ideology, like he's wrestling with opposites essentially, right? So it's all really rooted in irony, which is it's very clever, well written irony. So it's fair. It's fair. Um, so yeah, and that's the whole character of Daredevil. Everything that he does is just he just wants to help people. If it means his blood gets shed, then his blood shall be shed. And it's not even just about him wanting to make the city a better place, wanting to do better for the people. It's also because he stated before that he enjoys doing this. So it's like it's also it's like a thrill for him almost, which is very strange. It's a bit dark, it's a bit kind of messed up, but it makes sense nonetheless. Frank Castle, introduced in the first episode of season two. He's a man on a revenge mission. If you know the story of Punisher, you know his family was killed ruthlessly, and he's seeking revenge for their deaths. And he does not spare the lives of criminals. He's not like Daredevil. He does not spare criminals' lives. He will put a bullet in you if you are so much like if you smell like you're going to hurt an innocent person, he will pop a cap in you and you will die, and that'll be the end of it, right? He's dark, and the philosophy that he has is very different to Daredevil's, and they're able to kind of wrestle and have arguments about those ideologies, and I think it's fantastic. He's much darker, much more twisted in the head than Matt is. Elektra, bit of an anti-hero. She joins Matt in his crusade on defeating the Yakuza, defeating the Hand, defeating Nobu and his men. Um, she's not a traditional hero by any means. She's not exactly a hero, but she does help Matt in the good fight. So I decided to put a segment in her for her regardless. She does struggle with like darker, more violent impulses because the way she was trained, like she was trained to be a killer. Like she kills, kills. Stick is a killer, and the way he trained her, like she's violent. She has no remorse, right? So she struggles with those impulses while trying to also she wants to help Matt. She wants to be with him, but her violent impulses kind of push her away from him a little bit. So there's some interesting stuff with her character on how much of a hero she actually is, how much of a villain she is, but like she's somewhere in like a gray area. She wants to help in fighting the war to protect New York and all of this, but at the same time she's also drawn in by the Hand. She's drawn in by her darker, more violent tendencies. So yeah, very interesting. Karen Page, She's a vigilante supporter. She's a Frank Castle, Matt Murdock supporter all day, every day. Um, yeah, and she's just great. Um, she's just great. And then Foggy, um, he's a fantastic lawyer. He's just a fantastic lawyer. There's times where like Foggy's like an even better lawyer than Matt is, honestly. Because Matt has this like Daredevil life that he kind of ends up prioritizing um as time progresses. But Foggy's committed to being a lawyer and like fighting the good fight in Hell's Kitchen as a defense attorney. So it's like W Mance. W Mance. He's just a I consider Karen and Foggy both to be heroes because they're on the side of good. They want to do good. They want to help people in New York in the ways in which they can. So, yeah. The faith, ideologies, and the philosophy. So, Matthew Murdock is a Catholic. Yeah, he believes in God. Is very strong rooted in his faith. And what he does in the nighttime is it 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 definitely like causes a rift in like his faith and what he does like in the nighttime. Also, there's also characters who put into question who question his ideologies and also like put him into a position where he almost feels compelled to break away from what he believes in. So he believes in not killing at the because of the possibility that um a person can repent for what they have done, that they can be forgiven, that they can be rehabilitated, that they can change, right? And that he's strong rooted in that belief for majority of the time. But like in season three we see it's almost to the point where with Kingpin coming back and him causing chaos in Hell's Kitchen again, it's like he's being pushed. He wants to break his moral code so badly. He wants to kill Kingpin so badly. Ultimately, he doesn't end up doing it, but he wants to so badly. He gets pushed. And in that season also, he starts questioning his faith as well. After the events of the Defenders, Elektra dies again. The Defenders, they teamed up and they had to blow up the building in Midland Circle in order to put an end to the Hand once and for all. Like he was assuming he's presumably left for dead because he told Jessica, Luke, and Danny to just like go. I'll handle Elektra on my own. And it's like he was basically left for dead, right? He told them to leave. He told them to get out, and he was left for dead. So eventually he was found. He was taken into the church, but like he was badly injured. His suit was burnt up. Like, dude, he was cooked, and he started questioning God and his faith in God. He started questioning his purpose in Hell's Kitchen, who he's actually meant to be, but also if God was the one who put him up to the task of being Daredevil, of being the devil of Hell's Kitchen. And it's just really, really, really interesting stuff. I think it's honestly fantastic. Like Matthew Murdock's faith is one of the most important aspects of his character, and they managed to like put it together so well in this show. They managed to put it on full display incredibly well in this show. And again, that whole season 2, episode 3, New York's finest, rooftop conversation between Matt and Frank. Dude, oh my days, bro. That conversation between the two of them wrestling with ideologies, bro. Um, should we kill? Should we not kill? Like it's a lot more complicated than that, obviously, but that that was just amazing. They both brought up some really good points. Um, Obviously, I'm on the side of Matt because I believe in repentance, because I believe in God, and I'm a believer in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So I'm obviously I'm on Daredevil's side when it comes to the matter, but it is an interesting conversation to have. It's always an interesting conversation. These type of moral debates, they're very interesting to have. So, and they did it really well in this show. So, yeah, faith, ideologies, philosophies explored very well in the show. And then lastly, what I want to talk about is what might be the best episode of television that I've ever watched. Now, I did say that season 3 is my favorite season, but my favorite episode to come out of the entire show actually comes from season 2, and it's episode 4 titled Penny and Dime. Now, this episode is an hour and 1 minute long, so 61 minutes long. I had to specify that it's very, very specific. I had to. I had to. I had to. Um, so basically, this episode follows Frank Castle. He gets kidnapped by the Irish mob, and Daredevil goes in to save him. But it is a lot more interesting than that. The reasons being is because, well, it basically has every aspect that I love about the Daredevil TV show. So the fight choreography, the writing, the performances, the chemistry between characters. Now, I'm going to mention, okay, there's three standout scenes that I want to mention from this episode that make it my favorite in the entire show. The first one is the torture scene with the Irish mob and Frank, right? We're being told that Frank is some monster, he's a bad guy, he's awful, he's horrible, he does this and this. But when he's being pushed, when he's being pressured, when he's being tested by the mob, they bring in a dog, right? And Frank is growing pretty close with this dog that they bring in, right? And you see a softer side of Frank when he says, "No, no, no, I'll tell you where your money is. Just let go of the dog." You see that he's an animal lover. Like he actually cares. He has a heart. Like it's not just a thing of like he's heartless, he's a monster, he just wants to kill everyone. No, no, no. He's doing this because bad people destroy the most important things in his life. He cares about people. He loved his family to death. He loved his kids to pieces, and he loves animals. He cares about animals. He's grown a close attachment to this dog, and they didn't want him to like didn't want and he didn't want the dog to get hurt because he refused to tell them where the money is. So he was like, no, no, it's cool. I'll tell you where the money is, but you let that dog go. And it was for me, it was like a small, heartwarming moment for me. It's like, dude, Frank is not a monster at all, dude. He's just a broken man who was destroyed by an event that took away his family, and now he's on like a revenge mission. So it's like there's you could definitely put into question like his moral code and the lengths that he's willing to go to exact justice, but he does care and he does have a heart. So that was really nice. That whole torture scene also was just really well written. That's like a peak like torture room type of sequence. And like when they took like the drill and they started drilling into his foot and Frank was just like yelling and taking the pain, dude. That's some badass stuff, dude. That's some badass stuff. The second scene I want to mention is the scene at basically the like almost at the very end of the episode, which is the scene where Matt and Karen share a kiss in the rain. That is about the most romantic thing I ever seen in my entire life. Like, I'm not exactly the biggest fan of the Matt and Karen relationship. I thought it was nice, I guess. It's like a small thing, but for me, I'm always Matt and Electra forever, right? So it's like, but, but when the way in which they filmed that scene with the rain and like the shot of one of the raindrops going down Karen's shoulder, dude, oh my days. Oh my days, bro. Like that's the type of stuff that you imagine like that's the type of like moment that you imagine sharing with like the love of your life, bro. Like you two like share like your like a kiss in the rain, bro. Dude, that was the most romantic thing I've ever seen in my entire life, bro. I've watched a lot of movies. I've watched a lot of romance movies, which is which is crazy because I'm not even like the biggest romance fan. I just watch a lot of movies really, but There's nothing, I don't think in any movie that I've seen or any TV show I've seen, I don't think I've ever seen a scene more like romantic like than that. Dude, that was just like, dude, that was they shot it so flipping well, bro. Like I think it's just the cinematography of that entire scene, which is it was crazy, bro. My days, dude. Like I actually started cheering for the two of them because I was like they filmed it so well that like I had high hopes for their relationship. That's how good that scene was, bro. Just like damn, bro. Like I want to share a kiss in the rain with a girl like that, dude. Like that's crazy. Like that's beautiful, man. Like that's incredible. Yeah, that scene was just top-notch cinematography. That was just beautiful. It was just beautiful, beautiful visual. The rain, everything, the atmosphere is just perfect. It was just perfect. And then arguably the best scene in the entire TV show, um, the the Frank Castle monologue in the cemetery, where he talks about coming home, after like he was like in service, right? And seeing his daughter, seeing his family, dude, that monologue, bro, I actually shed some tears. Like I rewatched that episode a few months ago, and I actually shed tears listening to Frank talk, dude. That was that scene was, dude. My gosh, that scene was beautiful, bro. I I have no words for that, dude. That was incredible. It, it's, bro. Like there's very few TV shows or movies where like a segment like of dialogue or in this case monologue for the most part can be delivered so well. And dude, like Frank was even like shedding tears, like he was sobbing, he was crying, bro. And even Daredevil got a bit like he even got like a bit in the feels, dude. Like, bro, that scene was just incredible, man. This episode just reminded me why I love this entire show and why I love television and why I just love like movies and TV in general so much. It's an art form that's it's a form of media that's just you're taking something either you're making an original story or you're taking something that's adapted from a book, a comic, a video game, whatever, and you're turning it into something new that's similar to the original source material, but also you make something special of it. This was done specifically in the TV show. I don't think this is in the comic even. This is not in the comics, no. This is done for the TV show specifically. And this might actually be the best monologue in the history of television that I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of shows. This monologue is the best I've ever like listened to and watched. John Bernthal's performance is just incredible. So yeah, um that pretty much concludes my video on why Daredevil is peak television by Mr. Knight, as you can see. Um I will forever love this show. I will never stop loving this show. This show means so much to me because Daredevil is one of my favorite characters ever, and it's so incredible. I adored the heck out of the show. It's so special, and you can tell that there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of effort, there's just a lot of love for the Daredevil character, for the Daredevil mythos, the Daredevil storylines, everything. You can tell that there was a lot of love making this TV show, and I will forever be grateful for Netflix for airing this show and for the creators for creating the show. It's incredible, and I'm always gonna go back and watch this show um every year, all the time. I love this show. I absolutely adore this show. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible, and I honestly have no other words, so I'm just gonna end the video there. I promise I'm gonna start being more consistent. I have to be more consistent because I did promise that I want to grow this channel. I want to make something special out of this channel. So I'm definitely going to be coming with more videos for sure. I'm going to be more consistent. I'm going to get back on schedule. Um, I'm going to start. I'm going to try to start posting more videos in a week, not just like once a week or like once every. I don't want to do like once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks, like I've been doing. Like I've been very inconsistent. I want to try get into a routine of like having 2 or 3 videos out in a week because this channel is really important to me. So it's like I gotta work at it. So yeah, but I thought I might treat my small right now audience with a with a video on a TV show that I really love, my favorite TV show. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. I appreciate you guys watching. Um, but wherever you are, I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And I'll see y'all in the next one. All right. Peace.